Hello, welcome friends. Today in this video, I am going to discuss Michel Foucault's concept, arts of existence or techniques of the self. Also, it is called life as a work of art. In my previous video, I have discussed archaeology versus genealogy. Let's begin today's video. Foucault wrote the book The History of Sexuality in 4 volumes. Volume number 2 is entitled The Use of Pleasure, published in France in 1984 and in English in 1992. In this second volume, The Use of Pleasure, Foucault explores the works of Greek philosophers such as Seneca, Xenophon, Plato, and many more. Then Foucault explains that the aim of this volume is to reveal the process of the structuralization of sexuality. He says that the process of the structuralization of sexuality is an ethical practice in Greek culture. In the final completed volume 2, The Use of Pleasure, and volume 3, The Care of the Self of his History of Sexuality, aesthetic activity becomes a key to his understanding of the vagaries of sexuality in the Greek and Greco-Roman periods. Sexuality in antiquity is understood by reference to what Foucault variously calls the care of the self, practices of the self, techniques of the self, or an aesthetics of existence. He clarifies the role of art as a model of self-invention. Foucault tried to show how different periods constitute subjects differently and how the subject is not the final ground of thought and history, but the subject is the complex product of thought and history. In showing this, Foucault did not eliminate the very concept of the self. Moreover, in the late ethical stage of his work in the early 1980s, such as the last 3 volumes of The History of the Sexuality and the regular lecture at the Collège de France, Foucault adopted a different position on these issues. He analyzes and advocates not only an ethics but also an aesthetics of existence as a practice by which individuals constitute themselves as autonomous free subjects. Scholars like Jocelyn Benoist believe that the concept of ethics of existence and aesthetics of existence mean the same thing. Foucault's idea of the aesthetics of existence is usually connected to the ancient concept of the art of living. This idea is closely linked to Nietzsche's idea of shaping oneself or self-fashioning. Both the classical notion of the art of living and Nietzsche's idea about disunity of the subject, power, historical discontinuity, experimental relation to oneself, and self-constitution are important in Foucault's search for a new way of living, which he calls the art or aesthetics of existence. In this context, the aesthetics of existence refers to having a meaningful and positive relationship with oneself, much like the ancient ethics. Oscar Wilde wrote, "To become a work of art is the object of living." Michel Foucault finished his writings with the motto, "Make life a work of art." The motto should be understood as a form of ethics, ethics as an aesthetics of existence. In Foucault's perspective, ethics is conceived of neither as a coherent set of moral prescriptions nor as a study of moral behaviors. Instead, he viewed ethics as an ethical attitude aimed at transforming the relationship with oneself into a work of art. Foucault defines techniques of the self or art of existence as those reflective and voluntary practices by which men not only set themselves rules of conduct but seek to transform themselves to change themselves in their singular being. Foucault says that through techniques of the self, men turn their life into an ovary That means into an masterpiece of a painter, composer or author. That ovary, that masterpiece, carries certain aesthetic values and fulfills certain stylistic criteria. Here Foucault actually is talking about a life full of quality. Thank you friends. In my next video I will discuss Foucault's another concept, what is an author. Thank you very much.